You're with Teddy and Tony on Everyday Conversations, a podcast that we're going to aim to have weekly. We were doing it weekly, but this is the second time for 2021. It is the 8th of April, time stamping it. I'm Teddy. With me is Tony. Two friends getting together, talking some trash. Sometimes it's mindless, sometimes it's good trash. But how are you feeling, Tony?
I'm feeling really good, Teddy. Thank you for asking. I was about to say it's sometimes trash, sometimes deep, sometimes philosophical, sometimes on another level, but mostly trash and
Yeah.
underground. But
And that
it's been
level is
a
like down, going underground
it's gone to
to the
the core of
basement.
the earth, core of the earth, or
Yeah,
as when we're all kids, you dig a hole, it can go deep enough, you end up in China. I don't know if you ever got told that
absolutely.
back in school days.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
I
I even
believed it.
tried it.
I believed it, and then lo and behold, you start seeing people around. You go, oh wow, they must have dug really deep holes. When you're a kid, you just think crazy things. It's
Yeah, yeah.
just one of those things. So
Yeah, especially where I grew up, down on the Mornington Peninsula. I'll put it out there, but early to mid 90s. Not a lot of Asians down that way. I think there was one Asian kid at my school. I was actually best mates with him. Good guy,
mm,
Aussie. Grown up as Australian down that way, but everyone thought he was foreign. We used to take him camping in the country, and you should have seen some of the looks he got when we went camping. Whoa, they weren't ready for him. Completely different now. Tourists everywhere, but back then, even just 20 years ago, times were different.
it's crazy to think, and also a bit of Australian history. You had the gold rush, but I mean that was the other side of town, like the other side of Victoria. So
Ballarat, Bendigo. Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
correct.
few gold rushes around. Funnily enough, the place we used to go, northeast Victoria, around Buckland Valley, if anyone's familiar, Bright area, which is pretty popular. That was the place we used to take him. Now tourists everywhere, but back then he was unique. We used to walk around and he would get some stares.
I
Someone
mean,
actually
never.
asked if we adopted him. I'm not even joking. Someone walked up to us and asked us if we adopted him. And he's like, no, they'd ask, hey, where are you from? And lean in and look at him. He's like, Melbourne. It's funny.
Melbourne, right?
Yeah, I know.
Melbourne.
We are talking 20, 25 years ago, which is, could you imagine 50
But that's
years ago?
actually not that's it. I was going to say that's only 20, 25
It's
years ago.
nothing.
Imagine
It's
40,
nothing.
imagine 80 years ago.
I know. It's nothing. But
Did Marco Polo exist 80 years? No, he didn't. That was 1600s.
isn't that game you play in the water when you grab people and pull them down and try and drown them? I
How
don't
would you
know.
feel if you were literally one of the world's most famous explorers from Italy and all that's remained of your legacy is a water game where people just say your name
Yeah,
to find each other?
yeah, and you confuse it with like Ralph Lauren polo.
There we go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm with you.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm with you. Hey, should we tell everyone what the show's about? I forgot. We got to tell everyone what the show's about. So we get together. We don't just talk absolute trash. It's broken down in three sections. We talk
it's
about our
structured
highlight.
trash.
It's
Yeah.
structured into three very
Structured.
loose segments. First is our highlight for the week. Last week, or last show, it was actually the highlight for the last quarter of the year because it's taken us so long to come back and do the next episode. But we're back.
We're
Now we're doing it for
enjoying
the
the freedom. Yeah.
we can do whatever we want, dude. We're not getting paid for this yet. But no, that's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, we need at least
Sponsors.
more than three people listening to it, not including ourselves, to make any money.
And
We're not.
and
Look,
our mothers.
we're not. She's not even listening. I don't know about your mum.
Ah,
My mum's
just
not.
giving up.
No, no, absolutely. Couldn't pay her enough. But so we'll talk about the highlight for the week. Section 2, what has caught your attention during the week? And section 3, what have you seen on the internet? It used to be what was on social media that caught your attention, but now we just go on broad internet. Catches a wide net. We keep it G-rated, obviously, and very safe for children. If you're at home, you can play it while you're cooking and your kids around. We're not going to drop any nasty words, but let's just hope the kids don't understand what we're saying, if you know what I mean.
Correct, if you know what I mean. And that's always a euphemism. Always. You can apply that to anything. But we never even say
Absolutely.
that. I don't think we've ever said it.
That was a
I think
first.
no.
That was a first.
First,
So you want to
possibly
kick it
last.
off? You want to kick it off with some excitement on the highlight?
Yeah, of course. So this week, the highlight actually was I don't know what you'd make of this, Teddy, but I actually went and played a laser tag for the first time in like
Nice.
years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever gone and played.
How old are you?
I'm above 12. and under
Did,
50.
did they have the raspberry sodas out? No, I'm kidding. That sounds like a bit of fun, but I feel like as an adult, I'd need like paintball or something a bit messy. But
No,
laser
no, no.
tag sounds
You'd be,
fun.
no, no, no. You'd be surprised. This isn't like the sidetracked from when we were kids. This is like a
Right,
full
like Zone
fledged.
3, Dark Zone with those
Yeah, yeah. No,
massive
no,
battery
no.
packs. Okay.
No, no, you still got those battery packs, but it's actually a lot more. It's larger. Like you think when you grow up, this like going back to those places would be really small. But I actually went to Crown in
Okay.
their whatever it is, and it's pretty big, right? And there was only six because of COVID. They only allow max 10 people at a time, so you only had 3-on-3, and it's massive this place. And there's like all these inbuilt type of like objectives, and you actually got to think what you're doing. Plus, you got to aim, and you can kind of. They always say don't run, but you're literally sprinting nonstop for like 10 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah.
3 games at a time. So 30 minutes of sprinting. So it's good for fitness. It's good for taking out other people.
Yeah.
It's actually just really fun. Did take me back to childhood, but I think I'm a lot better at it now. Like I can aim, I can move. I'm just fitter, so I don't
The
get
only
tired
the
after
only
about 3 minutes.
the only problem with that is like everyone's better. So the bar's been raised across the board. I
Yeah,
think we were all
luckily I
clumsy as
was.
kids. There were no snipers as kids. Everyone was just running around trying to shoot
There
each
was,
other.
no, there was always that one guy who took it very seriously
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And he like you just kind of like finish. You'd see the points. You'd be like, he absolutely destroyed everyone. He'd be like, my weapon accuracy was only 38%,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, dude, you like got triple our score. Like, what are
Who
you
knows?
worried about?
Who knows what was happening to that kid at home? But yeah, I know what you mean.
I googled that kid on not Google. I Facebooked that kid. I couldn't find him. So I mean, I don't know what.
He's in the military. MI6, maybe.
Maybe he's an undercover. Anyway, so that was one thing that was really good. Followed up by bowling, which I always enjoy. Not very not.
You didn't have to leave Crown for any of this stuff. It's just like a one-stop shop, wasn't it?
Oh, and then you add a bit of pool, and then they also have like this beer pong with that beer. It's
Yeah.
like water pong.
Okay.
It's actually pretty. It's pretty like
COVID
all
safe.
self-contained too. So you literally don't have to move,
Okay.
and you can enjoy some adult beverages while you're
I
at
understand.
it, if you know what I mean.
I think I do, Tony. I think I know what you mean. Yes. Yes, I mean you're at a goddamn casino. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you play adult games.
Yeah,
If you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. That could mean anything, but I know what you mean. All right,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Oh
and the
boy.
other thing, which was, and you'll probably berate Tony for this. You know how I'm very nostalgic at times. So I was talking to a mate, and we're talking about this game that we used to play when we were a kid. It's a game on Game Boy. I don't know if the young generation know what a Game Boy is.
Oh, they're
But
missing out.
it's
They're missing out. We're not
it's
talking
it's
color
like
Game Boy. We're talking old school green and like the LCD green and gray.
yeah.
Oh, not even colors.
With a screen smaller than like a
Oh, it was
stamp.
tiny. Yeah, if you had Coke bottle glasses, you couldn't play.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
correct.
Or you could just come
And you
from my
probably
family
you
who
and you
couldn't afford one.
I was gonna say you could have Coke bottle glasses, and you wouldn't play because if you took it to school, you'd probably get bullied and someone take it away from you anyway.
Yeah.
So you definitely wouldn't play either way.
Oh, do you remember when marbles a craze when you were growing up?
Marbles? No, I just passed marbles,
Yeah.
but we got into like there was Tamagotchis, Pokemon
Oh,
cards,
yeah.
something called Crazy Bones, which was like an advanced
Nah, I
marbles.
never
I don't
did
know if
that.
you
They used to make us check out
Digimon.
marbles. Digimon was cool. That was just after my time. I mean, it was
No,
still
that
there, but
was
um,
there. You would have been like hitting middle school, I think, when that hit.
yeah. Look, marbles. They used to make us check it at the front of the room before you'd go into the playroom in primary school. One time, the teachers made me check it. I had like this Granny Smith massive marble. I don't know. I can't even remember. It was something to
Cheater.
collect, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I went back, stolen. I think I actually cried that day. Anyways, let's move on to the Game Boy story.
Oh yeah,
That was
so
depressing, that one. Don't worry about them.
there were two games that I don't know if you ever played Game Boy or anyone listening, but two games I played a ridiculous amount. One, everyone of course played Pokemon in some variation.
Yeah.
But the other one, which a lot of people didn't play on Game Boy, was Mario Tennis. So you've got Mario Karts.
I didn't know.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone knows Mario Tennis on Nintendo 64, the Switch, but it actually used to be on Game Boy and actually was completely different to the actual other one. It actually had like a story campaign mode where you're on a character, you start from the beginning and you go through all the different like levels and then you go to these tournaments. Like you're playing yourself or like a character. So it was just really good because ironically I played this before I ever played tennis, ever in my life. But we're just talking about it, and he's like, "Oh," I'd be like, "Oh, it'd be so good to play it." He goes, "Oh, don't worry, I've got an emulator." Oh, disclaimer:
Right.
emulators may or may not be illegal, and I do
Yeah,
not
I was
condone the
gonna
use of
say
them.
the emulators.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Emulators like, "Don't worry, I got a safe one. I got it. You can just
yeah,
boot it up and play." Sends
yeah.
it to me. I may or may not have played it, and it really took me back to literally the music starts playing, the credit, and you go, literally like it was yesterday. You're sitting at home, obviously alone because I had no friends, and bring out the game, play Mario Tennis, and it's just the music. The instant the music, you're like back in traveling back in time. I love that game so much that I actually brought it up in show and tell in
That's pretty
primary school.
cool. That's pretty cool. Show and tell was good fun. I never really had playing the games. I used to have to do it at friends' houses, but one time I brought up the fact that I was digging around the couch at home and I found a TV guide. Used to get the TV guide from the Sunday Herald Sun every week, and I was jacked up every time that thing came out. Used to read through it, see what was coming out. I mean, it's not done anymore like that, right? It's all on the TV. I don't even know how you go
Well,
find what's done.
it's like and they're always wrong as well. You go on the EPG or whatever on the
Current day,
smart TVs. Yeah,
yeah.
and then you're just like, "Hey, this is meant to be like, I don't know, Keeping Up with the Kardashians," and
Yeah.
now it's like, I don't
Back
know,
then,
catfish.
military precision. If it was in print, it was happening. That's what was going on back then.
You had
Anyway,
faith.
I know, I know. Look, it was 1992. We'll call it 92. And I was digging around under the couch. Just goes to show how how clean we were at my house. Digging around under the couch, found a TV guide from a year before. So one whole year. I took it into school because I was like, hey, this is cool. It was like I'd found something from, I don't know, Raiders of the Lost Ark or Ancient Egypt or something. I took it in. The teacher trashed it. She's like, so what? I was like,
Really?
this is not cool. So I was presenting it. I don't remember who the teacher was, but I'm sure that scarred me on some level. You're lucky that
Maybe
Teddy
they
can
were.
even present right now. I mean, that's some pretty
I mean, now
traumatizing stuff.
you've used that for good. You've rebounded
Absolutely.
from it.
You're
So
right.
whoever that teacher is, you got to find out who it is, and we're going to visit the house
I know. Or
if they're
great.
alive. Yeah, literally yes. All of the great.
I mean, I was thinking, do I go there? I'm going there because you've crucified
We
me in front
both,
of a public situation. Rude, teacher. Rude.
and that's resilience right there, ladies and gentlemen. Teddy is a living example of that.
Yeah.
Bullied by a teacher as a kid,
Yeah.
presenting, and now he's presenting podcasts
Then and
as
now,
well as other.
and riding shotgun is Tony. So that's pretty good. So those are the highlights for the week, huh?
Yep, it's great.
I
How
love
about
it.
yourself?
Pretty cliche. We just came off
Any
4-day long weekend. The just the entire experience was the highlight. I mean, it felt like it was never ending, but then when it got to the end, it was really sad and it came crushing down. Took me 2 days to recover mentally, just going back to work. There was something about that 4-day break that just really, I don't know what it did. I think I might have even caught up with you in person at some point. Yes,
Yeah,
the whole
just before,
to
just
start
before.
the whole holiday kicking in, that we all caught up and had some pizza and some wines, which was good. Drink responsibly, everyone, and don't do it if you're under 18 because that's illegal, unless in company of parents. I actually don't know the rules there. Look it up, and be legal. But the 4 days off was good. Managed to get down to the country, which was nice. We had some ridiculous weather, which did not make
Oh,
any
the
sense to
weather
me.
was amazing. This whole week's been pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to. Look, we're better than getting on here and talking weather. Talking weather is what we do when we don't really want to talk to the other person. But we do need to talk about how good the weather was this week and last long weekend, Easter time. It's supposed to be cold, people, but it was beautiful. Anyways, the 4 days off. That's my highlight of the week. It was just awesome. So over to you for the next section. We can talk. This is where we talk about what's caught your attention. And because I kind of mailed it in with a 4-day weekend, I can lead if you like. I'll tell you what caught my
Go for it.
attention. So we went down to the country on the weekend. Went to Castlemaine, which was cool, and met a friend of mine. She was stopping by from Canberra. Now she's of Indian Fijian background, so dark skin. She wasn't staying where we were staying. We were staying at some lady's house. We were house sitting. She had to book the last room in town, and we went there. There's a
The
reason it was
last room.
the
I
last
was gonna say
room, not even the last like hotel or something. It was a room in it, like shared kitchen, shared bathroom. We took her there, 90
shared
bucks,
bathroom. Yeah.
shared bathroom. We took her there. As soon as you walk in, there's this musky smell. The guy's kind of like Mr. Burns. It was a little scary. Smelt a bit like a funeral home kind of thing. And the way he was sort of just acting and asking, different bits and pieces, and it was just a little creepy. We kept making eye
What was
contact with each other.
what was he asking?
He was look. It was I can't even remember the exact things, but there was one part where he was sort of angling at where are you from. He was getting the whole, what my Asian friend was getting when we were 20, 25 years ago. Where are you from? And she's like,
Oh.
Sydney, I think is what she said. But he was obviously angling for something different. Anyways, we all totally judged him, walked away, and the next day we found out that apparently he's basically an angel given down from God for the human race. Nicest guy. The reason he was asking about where she was from is because his wife is of Indian background.
Oh,
Gave
really?
her, gave her a bag of chilies. Everyone around at the table that we were talking this story that actually from that area were saying, "Oh yeah, he's like one of the nicest guys in town. Everyone loves him and respects him."
Well, you were like, "Hey, check out this creepy guy." You're like, "What are you
That's
talking
it's
about?"
exactly honestly, that is exactly how it came up.
Oh,
That is, and then my friend supported it by saying, "Oh, look, we were so wrong about this guy. He's an absolute angel." So that was one thing that caught my attention, and that more recently, just this evening actually, something that caught my attention was we were driving down towards Bunnings in Collingwood. We were taking some of the back streets where there's still a lot of factory activity in that area in Collingwood. So not up towards Smith Street, but just back a bit. Driving down one of the roads towards Bunnings. It's dark, and I see someone wearing a suit, and then I see a wedding dress. Sort of down a little dark lane, getting some photos, and I thought this is the worst place to get photos. And do you know what she was leaning on as I was standing there getting photos? Brothel. And I just
really?
thought, this is wrong. This is who's the photographer that thought, let's go and get newlyweds, do the wedding photos down a back street in Collingwood against a place that has, neon sign out the front. It's something along the lines of like adult playground or something like that. And I just thought, look, that's definitely got my attention. I'm glad it happened just before the show. Otherwise, I might have forgotten it. But yeah, those are two things that caught my attention over the course of the last week.
Maybe they met there, and that's why they're taking photos.
Okay. Deeper story. Deeper story. It was
There
initially
has
it
to
was
be
a
a reason for it, unless they're one
initially
of those photographers who are
transaction.
trying to be like
He's punking
hardcore.
him.
Not
He's
hardcore. Sorry.
punk. He's punking him, or he's going grunge. Look, what was also weird. It was a couple. I use the term loosely with the whole Asian thing, and it sounds very like, hey, this guy's got to be white. He's using Asian broadly, but I don't want to say they're specifically Chinese, but I think they might have been Chinese. So it
Was the
wasn't as though
photographer also of the same?
it was so dark I couldn't even see him. It was just the couple that was standing out, and I just thought, look, it's not as though they're Collingwood hipsters or trash, if you will, like, overstepping the line on some of the things we're saying here. But Collingwood can be a bit of a rough area. They look like a pretty classy couple in the wrong neighbourhood, and that's what caught my attention.
But ironically, you're judging them, and they could be the other way around. Similar, like you were judging the guy in Castlemaine.
Yeah, okay. So give me the angle on how I could be judging, misjudging this couple.
Maybe they worked at this particular establishment that
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mentioned before,
Right.
and as you're about to start, it started transactional because the aforementioned male might have been visiting, as an extramarital type situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therefore, this actually, sounds like it's all holy, but in fact started from somewhere else.
Gotcha. And
And
he
now
was
this is just
that was the only way out for her, and she found love.
yes, yes.
Okay, Jesus. Are we
I
going
think
to
I wa
delete this whole section? Or this is not G-rated anymore? I don't even. You
It
know
is
what? It
hero.
is.
It
This
is
is a fairy
no,
tale, my friends. This is good. I
I
like when you
am
did that.
literally doing like a romantic. And if anyone wants the
Yeah,
rights to this, I can't think of any
yeah,
film production company right now. Lionsgate, is that
yeah,
a
yeah.
what else?
Potentially, there'd
Pixar?
be.
Pixar films?
Yeah,
We're an
Well,
animated series.
there's Miramax. Look,
Disney.
if this
Disney.
was a
The Disney
Hallmark
fairy
card,
tale.
if this was a Hallmark card that was for sale, you'd probably buy it at the back of the video shop, if you know what I'm
What's the
saying.
difference between this and Sleeping Beauty? And I do know what you're saying. Sleeping Beauty has the same premise. Someone was lying in a particular
Yeah,
room in a particular place, and someone came in, and you know, uh, kissed them, and then there, that's it. Lived happily ever after.
I
What's the
gotcha.
difference?
And with the venue I saw tonight, it's the oldest profession in the world. So who am I to judge?
I mean, it's the perfect setting for a fairy tale.
Yeah. All right. We're going to leave that there. So look, over to you. Oh boy, nearly got us. So what caught your attention this week?
This is something that I only found out recently, and I believe you may have heard of it.
Okay.
But because it might have been talked about in recent times. But there is something called the Mandela effect,
Yeah.
where basically, and this is something that I didn't realize existed because it happens all the time till someone goes, "Hey, this is what it is." It's basically a really unusual phenomenon where a large group of people, so let's just say you, me, everyone else, remember something that's actually very different to what it actually was, and usually it's to do with the past. So conspiracy theorists think that this is proof that we're in an alternate universe, that we were in one place at one point, and then we have moved to another universe. But many kind of demonstrate that this could just be demonstrating how like wrong and imperfect our memory can be. Which if you ever study psychology or whatever, that generally is what finds out. We always paint things differently in the past, right? So you're probably like, what's an example of a Mandela effect? The irony is the name itself, Mandela, is actually from Nelson Mandela, who we know, was a very,
Yeah.
famous, the famous prisoner,
Yeah.
right, back in
Do,
way
do you
back when.
remember? Do you remember his funeral where up on stage the guy doing the sign language? He was like a fake signer. It was just
Oh, I do
that.
remember this. Yes, I remember reading about it.
I remember
But it's
seeing that.
funny.
I was losing it in laughter. It turns out he's like gambled his way on stage. So I don't want to go back to
It's
you.
funny.
But
It's funny
Google it.
you say no, no. It's funny you say this, right? Because the theory actually came from where people could remember Nelson Mandela dying while he was in prison in the 80s. But in actually, what happened was he died in December 2013. Even though some people thought they saw his funeral already on TV.
Right. Right. That's probably because he was so old. But look, I think something
I
happened in
don't
the
think
'80s.
he
I
was
wasn't
that.
around then. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. I definitely remember the whole funeral, but he was disappeared for quite some time there. I don't know. Look, I wasn't. My memory wasn't alive really in the '80s, but a lot of other people probably had a different event that tricked them to the
Yeah,
effect that you're talking about.
correct. So the few most common ones that I'll bring up, I think Monopoly, the Monopoly man. You know what his actual name was? Firstly, just
Does
slight
he have a name?
digression. He has a name.
Okay,
One guess at what his name is.
Reginald.
You know what? I could see that. Rich. No, his
Absolutely.
name is Rich Uncle Pennybags.
Dude.
Not even
Yeah,
joking. That's his name.
I was pretty close. I would have gotten there if you gave me just like a
I mean,
couple of guys.
Reginald's pretty much that. So everyone thinks or remembers that he has a monocle, but he doesn't.
Yes, that's it. That's crazy. That's crazy because I thought he had a monocle the whole time.
I thought he had a monocle, and then the next time someone goes, "But what about the McDonald's monopoly?" Right?
Okay.
Where
Yep.
it came
Yep.
up.
Yep.
So you can go Google that. There is still no monocle.
Weird. Then who's the monocle guy?
I don't know.
Right.
Not even Mr. Pringles has a monocle. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Pringles. Please tell me he's got a mustache.
Yes.
Okay. Good. You got a tin of original Pringles up on the
I
desk
think
from last week, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah, it's over there. I kept it away because I didn't want to affect your thinking if you panicked by seeing why on earth would I have an original Pringles
Yeah.
can.
Well, look, after
It,
that, you inspired me. I went out and bought some sour cream and onion. And then 2 days later, they were there again. I was like, how am I coming across so much sour cream and onion Pringles? But you definitely, we were talking about them being smaller now, right? Correct? They're
no, that was
small.
just normal packets. But I think they're smaller too though, like the actual cylindrical tube.
I found the actual Pringle itself smaller but thicker. Whereas I preferred, look, maybe I've just gotten older, but I seem to remember it being a bit bigger and a bit more thinner, like more wafery. But now it's a bit more got more chunk to it. I like to just, I like that thin wafer. But now it's kind of like the Eucharist when you go to church and the priest says body of Christ and he hands over the bread. It's kind of getting down to that size now. Hello to all my Catholic brothers and sisters out there. Amen.
It's like he's been bulking up. The the
Go on. Yeah, don't about that.
um, another one for Pokemon fans, which I don't think you are.
Well,
is
look, it's funny you mentioned that. I'll tell you a Pokemon story in a sec.
all right. So Pikachu,
Yeah,
the adorable Pikachu,
absolutely.
he
Pika!
he yeah, exactly. I was gonna do it, but I thought, no, I don't want a high screech voice to make people
Well,
turn it off
I've done it
or
for everyone.
break glasses, break glasses. The tip of his tail was not black, but in my head, I always thought it was black.
Yeah, totally. That or like a maroon color, a dark maroon color.
Yeah,
But he's got no tip.
it's
Is what you're
just
saying.
straight
Crazy.
yellow, no tip, straight yellow. This funny. This is something where I've never actually read this series called the Berenstain Bears, right? It's like an old American
No,
book or whatever.
no.
But I remember the name, and I always like, yeah, Berenstain. Turns out it's Berenstain, not Stain.
Right. No, never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Darth Vader, the famous line. You know, what's the famous
Yes.
line, Teddy?
Luke, I am your father.
Yes, but apparently that is not the actual phrase.
Yeah, so that's
He
interesting.
actually
What is it?
says, he actually says, "No, I am your father."
We've been brainwashed. People have tricked us by too many people saying it.
Speaking on Star Wars, C-3PO,
Yeah.
he's not fully gold.
Okay.
He has a silver leg.
Right. Okay. Now we're splitting hairs now. Like, I feel like you know what? You had me at Monopoly and Pikachu, but now we're going to be breaking down like the pandas got a black belly instead of a white belly or something. Either could be true. As now that I think about it, I don't know.
The one that actually got me, but it was ironic because I never ate it, was Fruit Loops. I didn't realize it wasn't spelled fruit.
Me neither.
It's
Funny you mentioned that.
F-R-O-O-T.
I know. Funny you mentioned that. I thought they just changed it on us without letting us know. Did an Insta story. I was at Costco a few weeks ago and I said, "What the heck is going on here?" And then I Googled it and apparently it's always been fruit with a double OT. So that's a good one. That's another one. And I couldn't find a trace of fruit spelt normally for normal people.
A lot of people thought that it was switched and then switched back, but there is literally no evidence of
All right. So I'm not alone. That stuff is trash. And I don't know how they're actually still serving that up legally on shelves.
it's full of sugar.
I feel like Cocoa Pops has more benefit than that. I mean, that roll ups is in there as well. You know, roll ups like that.
Yep.
That gets served up to kids at lunch when I was growing up. That is not.
I
That is not
I
food.
had roll. What's in roll ups? That's not food. That's like dessert,
It's
plastic.
it's not good for you. Put it that way.
Did you ever break your teeth?
I've actually got a chipped tooth. Some kid in primary school were wrestling, and next thing you know, I was like face planting onto the concrete, and boom, chipped tooth. But not from food, which is probably what you're
I was gonna
asking about.
say, that's got nothing to do with roll up. I mean, you got rolled up on the floor. But that's a
I got rolled,
different
man. Got my
situation.
marbles stolen. I got abused by a teacher and then a little kid. Times were good, but Teddy's,
I hope
Teddy's
this
still
school
here.
doesn't exist anymore.
Well, mate,
Teddy's alive, just a few holes here and
yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
And,
Mate, it was Frankston. It's fine. Yes, Teddy's from Frankston, everyone. So look out. Don't mess with me. Anyways, that's a little secret that I probably will go back and delete. And if I don't, well, that's a little secret for you that you get to share with you and your friends. On the Pokemon front, nephew was around today with his mum, and I go downstairs and they want to quiz me, and they're like, "Hey, little man's done some drawings. Can you guess what they are?" And I'm just like, "Boom, Diglett, Doug Trio, Snorlax, Mewtwo," and everyone in the room just goes, "Nerd." I mean, the little kid, he was overly impressed with
how old is the kid?
7. So,
Wow. And
I mean, he's still going for the classics.
I
He's still going for the classics.
I was gonna
First
say
top
I drew Pokemon. I drew Pokemon when I was that age.
These are pretty
Same
good
ones.
drawings. Pretty good drawings. I was pretty impressed. Artistically sound. It wasn't hard for me to guess exactly what they were. It's not like I had to squint and go, "Oh, is that you know,
Chicken nugget.
is that potentially
Very
Doug
chicken nugget.
Trio or Clefairy?" There was nothing like that. It was bang on. It was bang on exactly what it looked like. So kudos to you, little man. I won't put your name out there because one, you're under 18, and two, I want to keep you anonymous.
Yeah, it's really good that someone at his age is still drawing the original Pokemon. And I was gonna say at least it's not is that Snorlax and it ends up being it's Pikachu. So, yeah. Well done.
Yeah. It's like parents hanging their kids' pictures up at school, and you're like,
Isn't this
"Dude."
great? And you're
Yeah.
like-
Not really. Have you been to Paris? Or not really even Paris? Yes, Paris. I was thinking of the Louvre, and then I was going to switch it up to Vatican City. Both very impressive structures, and the artwork in there is absolutely amazing. Some of the artwork around Italy is just it'll blow your socks off. Don't go over there now though. COVID ridden. France actually had 60,000 cases the other day. Dangerous, dangerous. India,
Oh,
120,000 a few days ago.
yeah, no, it's and India's got new strains. So
I know.
2 strains.
Atomic.
I mean,
Atomic
they just
COVID over there.
I mean, they just have to be the best at everything, right? Not 1, 2.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So
Oh,
look,
you could do the sorry. I was like, you could it just came to me. You could do a parody. You could do like sort of 2 chains, it'd be like 2 strains, and then like someone could do like a rap. I don't know. Don't worry, it made sense to me.
that's heinous, heinous. We'll keep that in the show just to show everyone how stupid you are. No, I'm joking. All right. Look, let's move on to the final segment of the show. This is where you saw something on the internet, and that can include social media, your Reddits of the world, Instagram, whatever you want. What have you seen on the internet this last week that you think is newsworthy, show worthy, Teddy and Tony everyday conversations worthy?
Well,
I was getting carried
said
away there.
worthy.
Yeah.
You said worthy, and I was about to say a couple of things. I said I can't say it. Then you said Teddy and Tony worthy, and instantly I'm like, yeah,
lowers the bar.
bar.
The bar is so low.
Man, we're like center of the earth now, like core underground.
Yeah, yeah.
But funny you mentioned Paris before with the 60,000 cases. There was a tweet that went out. I think it was a tweet. Or was an Instagram post. I don't know, or TikTok video. One of those social media platforms, showing the amount of rubbish that is now in the streets and rivers and canals and everything of Paris.
Right.
We're talking like, because basically during COVID they're in lockdown or whatever, people have just throwing everything in the streets. And like, there's literally pictures and videos of all this rubbish, and it is disgusting, right? And it's funny this has happened because some people are saying that it's been a build-up over a long period of time. Others, you know what the government's saying? The government's saying, oh, we've had a few of our cleaning staff not rock up to work, and it's just under. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. I've been to Paris. I went, what is it now? 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Even then, there was certain parts, and I was still pretty one of the inner suburbs, or arrondissement,
Le Marais or something like that.
Actually, it was Le Marais. That's exactly where I was.
Very fancy. I went to the Uniqlo there. I'll go to Uniqlo in every town and every country that I go to. Just putting that out there.
Is it the same?
It's identical. Like the sizes, everything. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's
First
good.
one I went to was in Taiwan. I've gone to them in America, Japan, Malaysia. What was that country before? Italy, France. I've gone everywhere. Uniqlo, every country, always the same prices. Good stuff. Love it. Not to mention, obviously.
No, we're not sponsored by Uniqlo.
No, we're not.
Yet, which is why
but
we're also wearing Uniqlo.
I'm wearing a Uniqlo t-shirt right now.
I'm not. I'm wearing Marco Polo right now.
It's because I can't. It's because I got the worst fashion sense. And if I'm given too much, that's like the IKEA. You go in there, you don't even need to know what you're doing. You just pick it out. You're like, this doesn't look terrible. Done.
Assemble at home.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Uniqlo. It's just everyone's looking uniform in there. If you're shopping at Uniqlo, my go-to.
And now it makes sense why it's called uni, because it's like uniform, Uniqlo. Oh, it all makes sense.
It could very well be. But yeah, go on. You were going to say something before? Paris, Le Marais, clean streets.
Dirty streets, actually. Very dirty streets in Paris. The funny thing is, when I went back then, it actually seemed dirty then.
Right.
And people used to be like, how was Paris? I'm like, look, Eiffel Tower's amazing. Like the fact it was built in, was it 1880 something? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Amazing. But when you actually go the day to day, it's really dirty. And also because I studied French in high school, I was quite aware of all the different societal issues and all this. So you can really see it all. And then it's physically manifested into rubbish. So that was definitely interesting. Have a look at that. On a slightly like something a bit different, there was a really cool video of this guy who's kind of just skateboarding down this really, really steep mountain, which is in California. You might have heard of it. I haven't heard of it. It's called Sierra Mountain.
Yeah.
Steep mountain.
Yeah.
And just kind of like windy type thing. So he's like on a skateboard and he's literally just like smashing it down, and there's a cameraman behind him just filming it perfectly. And you get to see him swirling around from that point of view, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty sweet. I'm going to look that up. Not right now. But yeah, I know. I don't know. The Sierra Mountain Range is actually one that I've been to. That's where like Yosemite is, and that is some beautiful country. Some of the best country I've ever seen.
Yosemite. What is it?
Yosemite. Yeah.
Yosemite.
Yosemite is
National
what Donald Trump calls it, but they call it Yosemite.
Yosemite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gorgeous. But yeah, some of that country is some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. So the video you're just describing, I can just imagine how beautiful it would be.
Yeah,
And-
it's just him skateboarding around, and he's like got a little glove, so he's gliding around the corners, and it's just
yeah,
so majestic and
I'm in.
probably very
I'm sold.
dangerous
I'm sold.
on a skateboard. And then the other thing I saw that was pretty cool, a bit lighthearted. Someone had done a TikTok video where they bought this quite obvious bikie, this massive beard, huge guy in a bar, bought him a vodka shot, right? So then the video is from his point of view. So the bikie gets the shot. The bartender's like, "Oh, that guy got it for you." So literally, the big huge biker guy like blows a kiss and says thanks to the person filming, and then drinks it, and then he's like, "Oh, it's water," and then like it cuts from there. I was like, oh, why would you prank an actual bikie? Like, come on.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And I was like, that's a good prank. It's a dangerous prank.
Yeah.
And you got to have a lot of marbles to be doing a
Yeah.
prank like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny. That is funny. It reminded me.
I would never do that.
It reminded me of something. I mean, finally, the next two stories I'll tell both remind me of what you just told me. The first one is I saw it on Facebook videos, I think it was, so not YouTube. And it's people driving around in a car, and they're just pulling up to people on the nature strip, just going, "Hey, I'll give you you want a Corona?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, F yeah," like yeah, S yeah, expletives. They're just random people washing their car, doing some work out the front, and then the guys in the car are just like, "Oh, we'll give you a 6-pack if you do a snorkel." He's like, "Hell yeah!" But some of the riffraff they're getting on the side of the street, hilarious. Like one guy's just like, "Hell yeah, I'll do that for free." Cracks the Corona on his tooth, does the snorkel. Then there's
What's
the
a
only.
snorkel?
So it's basically like a beer bong. I've never seen it before, but it's basically like a beer bong where they pour the Corona down, turn the snorkel upside down. It's designed specifically for. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It might even just be a proper snorkel, but they
Sounds like a
basically.
frat party type of thing.
It's hilarious, but they're pulling up to some people. I don't know if this crew's famous or something. But they pull up, and some people are like, "Oh yeah, it's the boys, the boys! Like, give me the
The
beers,
boys
mate."
have arrived.
That's pretty much it. Because I think they're
Is this in
channel names
America or here?
totally Australia.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yes,
right.
that was some of the most Aussie behaviour. I was just describing them. The one person that says, "Nah, I'm right," Posty. he's riding along the footpath, and because they're in the car, so they're keeping up with people as well. There's one guy walking a dog, and he's like, "Sorry, what are you after?" He's wearing like borderline a turtleneck. Not the guy you reckon's gonna take a beer. He's like, "Yeah, sure, boys, I'll have one." Comes over and has a beer.
Sure, boys.
Yeah.
Please pull over and provide one.
It was just funny. It was funny. But came across this article on mothership.sg, which is Singapore, and it's talking about a Twitter account. So this is different to the Corona story from before, guys. Just a heads up in case you didn't realize I was switching it up. This is the next thing I've seen online. The next thing and the last thing. It talks about a Twitter account, Japanese Twitter account, Azusa Kagusi, or something like that. But you know the Japanese names. I don't even know if that's a proper word, but I'll spell it for everyone. AZUSAGAKUYUKI. So I think it's actually Azusa Gakuyuka. Yeah. Anyways, so it goes on, and it's about 16,000 followers. It's this sort of, quite a pretty Japanese female. She's a biker. There's the biker link. She's a biker, and she's got a Yamaha motorcycle. And there's just photos of her like on the lake with her cycle, getting quite a bit of a following. This young, attractive Japanese woman going around motorbike. So she posts photos up. Anyways, this television company, so Japanese media picked up on this curious turn of events, eventually tracked the biker down. And according to this Japanese variety show, the rider turned out to be a 50-year-old man who makes use of a phone app to transform his looks. Here's the reveal crew.
Wow.
When they rolled around to interview him. Takes off his helmet, lush long hair, 50-year-old man.
That's bold.
I know.
That's like the ultimate catfish.
So catfish. I will never believe anything I see online anymore. I'll send this to you afterwards. That's
crazy.
The thing is, the hair is like the same, pretty close. But the face, obviously, completely
You know
different.
what? That'd be amazing because you know whenever if you ever watched the show Catfish or if you know what Catfish is, right?
No, of it, yeah.
They've always got a photo. They've always got a photo of someone else. So the second like they meet, you know straight away it's not the same person.
Yeah.
But in this situation, imagine they meet, you go to a date, and they take off their helmet, and so for
Yeah.
that split iota of a second, you
Yeah.
actually believe it's the
The
actual
hair's waving.
person.
The hair's
The
waving.
hair's
Yeah.
waving, and then
Because
it's like
the hair's there when you're taking off the helmet. Hilarious.
I'd love for someone to do like reactions of seeing this person thinking they're on a date, and then for half of them, they're like, "What?" Maybe like, "Oh, it's a bit older." Oh, it's a man.
Yeah. So just to round out that story, the man
Ooh.
reportedly said that no one wants to see an uncle in quotes, and so he turned himself into a quote beautiful woman so that his photos would be popular.
Oh,
I
he just
mean,
wanted some friends
oh
and
boy.
support.
Yeah, and if anyone just wants to hear that again, I'm not going to pronounce the name, but the Twitter handle is AZUSAGAKUYUKI, so Yuki at the end there. It's wild. 16,000 followers could have tricked me. I mean, cute girl on a motorbike. There's definitely an audience for that, but as Uncle knows, unfortunately, he's in a less of an audience, so he's gone for the ultimate filter catfish approach. Articles by Tanya Ong. Go Tanya and go Ryder. So that's pretty much it from me.
That is gold. It's kind of it's sad as well. He just wanted likes and company and wanted people to like him, and that's all he really wanted in the day. I mean, maybe if he had Uncle in there instead of Yuki, it's like Unky instead of Yuki,
I know,
then
I know.
he would have like 1 follower,
Yeah.
16 followers. I don't know.
Instead of Yuki, it just came out yucky. That's the end of the show, everyone. Teddy and Tony, another episode down. We're going to be back in a week's time. I've had a rocking good time, a G-rated time, flirting with the boundaries of PG, AO for the oldies out there, if you know what that is. Definitely not X-rated or R-rated, but
A
very...
or E exempt.
Whoa, what is that?
I'm pretty sure it's E or was it? Oh no, it was a C. C was like no, there was something that made it. It didn't have a classification.
But what, like the human centipede or something just real nasty? Or is it because
No,
it's
no,
so
no,
bad?
no, no, no. That's like better. This is like it's so good that it just doesn't have a. I
Oh,
need to find
right.
out. I need.
Like the
I need to
Wiggles or
find out.
something.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, Wiggles is G rated, but there's something. I think it was like documentaries or like nature shows or I can't remember what it was, but there was something. There was something that
Yeah.
was different.
All right.
Like back in the
You
day,
know,
we had a video shop, so I just can't remember what it was.
all right. You know what? We're going to open up on this next week. So hold that
Yeah,
thought, ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen. Teddy and Tony, Everyday Conversations. Good night.